The WNBA just reminded us that if you even say Caitlin Clark's name too loud, you might get fined. Sophie Cunningham is in hot water again after calling Clark the biggest star in the league. And now the league office is dropping another fine on her head. But the real question is, why is the WNBA so sensitive about this? And how is all this drama fueling the hottest team in the league right now, the Indiana Fever? Stick around, because we're breaking down Sophie's comments, the fines, the controversy, and why this proves that Caitlin Clark is running the league without even playing a single minute this week. Well, we got another gem that has come to us by way of Sophie Cunningham's new podcast, Show Me Something. It's pretty clear. Every time one of these episodes drops, we better have our ears on because something's going to come out of it. And in case you guys do not remember, it wasn't that long ago that Sophie Cunningham made this little TikTok video. And in said TikTok video, and you can see right here, this was July 23rd, she put this up. It said she got fined $500 by the WNBA for criticizing the refs. Let's start with the moment that's blowing up across the WNBA right now. Sophie Cunningham, our fearless shooter and energy spark for the Indiana Fever, just went full unfiltered mode on her new podcast, Show Me Something. And she said what every fan already knows, but some people are too scared to admit. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. Here's the exact line that had the league office clutching its pearls. It really frustrates me when people claim she's not the face of the league. You're absolutely clueless, straight up clueless. Boom, that's it. That one sentence cost her $1,500. The WNBA actually emailed the Fever GM, who pulled Sophie aside with a grin and said, "Hey, they're fining you again." Think about that for a second. A player speaking the truth about the most marketable rookie the league has ever seen. A player who has sold out arenas coast to coast, who got more All-Star votes than almost anyone in history, and the WNBA decides to fine her for being honest. This is what makes the story so spicy. Sophie isn't just some random bench player mouthing off. She's a starter on the hottest team in the league. A vet who has been in locker rooms where Caitlin Clark was the target of extra physicality every night. Sophie literally admitted that back in Phoenix, the Mercury planned to welcome Caitlin to the league with that rough rookie treatment. And she's basically telling the world, you can hate, you can foul her, you can knock her down. But she's still the biggest star in the WNBA. Now the league wants to fine her for saying what every network, sponsor, and highlight reel already screams. That's why this isn't just a fine, it's a statement moment. Sophie's taking the heat for speaking the truth, and in doing so, she just made Caitlin Clark look even bigger than before. Because, let's be real, if Clark wasn't the face of the league, no one would care what Sophie said in the first place. Now let's talk about Sophie Cunningham herself, because this isn't her first rodeo with WNBA discipline. Earlier this season, she got hit with a $500 fine for a TikTok video poking fun at referees. That's right, $500 for a joke on social media. And now, after this Clark comment, she's up to $2,000 in fines this year. But here's the thing, Sophie doesn't care. She's smiling through it. She literally laughed when the GM told her about the fine. Why? Because this is who Sophie Cunningham is. She's the villain and the voice at the same time. She brings energy, she brings trash talk, and she doesn't play the polished PR game the league usually loves. And that's why fans are loving her right now. Sophie has become the perfect hype woman for Caitlin Clark. She's saying the things Caitlin might not say out loud, and she's willing to take the hits for it. And it's also part of why the Fever are thriving. When your role players have that kind of edge, that fearlessness, it bleeds into the locker room. Other teams have stars who stay quiet, who let the media do all the storytelling. But the Fever, they've got Sophie literally podcasting during a playoff push, calling out the league and defending her rookie superstar. It's bold, it's risky, and it's exactly the kind of attitude that turns a good team into a dangerous one. And here's where it gets controversial. If this were any other player talking about, say, Brianna Stewart or Aya Wilson, would the league fine her? Probably not. This is about Caitlin Clark's polarizing fame. Half the league wants to body her up and humble her, and the other half quietly knows she's saving the WNBA with her star power. Sophie just said it out loud, and the league didn't like that one bit. Here's the part of the story that blows my mind, and honestly, it should terrify the rest of the league. Caitlin Clark hasn't stepped on the court in over 7 games, and she's still the center of the basketball world. That's how you know you're dealing with a different level of stardom. She missed the All-Star game. She's been rehabbing, sitting on the bench in sweats, cheering for her teammates, and yet every single headline, every talk show, every viral clip has her name in it. And now, Sophie Cunningham just proved it all over again. One sentence about Clark being the face of the WNBA, and boom! The league office is firing off fines. Fans are debating online, and sports media is running segments about it. Nobody else in this league can do that. Nobody. This isn't just hype, it's impact. Caitlin Clark's influence is bigger than a box score. She's a cultural shift. She's the reason why the Fever are suddenly on national TV, why road arenas are selling out, and why random sports fans who never watched the WNBA are now tuning into Indiana games. Even while she's sidelined, her star power drives the conversation. And here's the kicker. This kind of star power is rare in any sport, let alone the WNBA. People like to bring up Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart. They've all been legends in their own right. But did they dominate the national conversation the way Clark is doing in her rookie season? Number, this is different. What's even crazier is how much pressure and hate comes with it. Opposing teams have been targeting her all year with extra physicality. Some veteran players rolled their eyes at her popularity. Social media trolls claimed she was overhyped. But no matter what, she keeps winning. Not just games, but the attention battle that keeps the league thriving. Sophie Cunningham's podcast proves it perfectly. Sophie didn't even say anything wild. She said the obvious truth, that Clark is the face of the league. And the second those words hit the air, it became a storm. Think about that. A rookie who isn't even playing can spark fines, headlines, and debates, because she's just that important. This is why her star power is untouchable. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to score 30 to make news. She doesn't even need to be on the court. All she has to do is exist in the WNBA ecosystem, and the league revolves around her. Whether fans love her or hate her, whether rivals try to knock her down or teams game plan their whole defense around her, she's in total control of the narrative. And if she has this kind of power sitting out, just imagine what happens when she returns and starts drilling logo threes again. That's when the hype becomes reality, and the rest of the league is going to have to deal with it. Now, let's shift to the Fever themselves, because their recent winning streak isn't just impressive. It's symbolic of Caitlin Clark's impact even from the sidelines. Indiana is on a 5-game heater with 8 wins in their last 10, and they're doing it in a way that screams growth, chemistry, and danger for the rest of the league. Here's why this matters. Before the season, the narrative was simple. Pundits said the Fever were basically a one-woman show. They said if Clark ever got hurt, this team would sink straight to the bottom of the standings. But that's not what happened. Instead, this roster learned how to win without her, and that makes them exponentially scarier. You can feel Clark's influence everywhere. From the opening tip, this team now plays like a group that's been mentally toughened by her presence. Even off the court, she's on the bench, in huddles, pointing things out, communicating like a floor general who never clocks out. That leadership rubs off on every single teammate. Aaliyah Boston, who was already a dominant interior force, now looks like a veteran leader controlling the game. Kelsey Mitchell is stepping into crunch-time scoring roles. Natasha Howard is throwing her body around on defense like a true enforcer. And Sophie Cunningham, well, she's hitting timely threes, stirring up controversy, and keeping the team's energy sky high. But let's not ignore the psychology here. This streak isn't just about X's and O's, it's about belief. When you take away your superstar and still win, it creates a locker room that feels untouchable. It sends a message to every other team. We can beat you without our best player. Imagine what happens when she's back. And when Clark does return, all these lessons and all this confidence stay in place. That's when Indiana stops being a fun young team and starts becoming a legitimate problem. The Fever system is now flexible. They can win through Boston in the paint, Mitchell on the perimeter, or, when Clark returns, through that chaotic defense-breaking style she brings with her, shooting and playmaking. Even this Sophie Cunningham saga plays into the team's momentum. A teammate publicly defending Clark, even getting fined for it, shows a level of loyalty and togetherness that coaches dream about. It's us against the world energy. It's the type of chemistry that can't be faked. So, yeah, this win streak isn't just about a few hot shooting nights. It's the blueprint of a team transforming into a contender. They're learning to fight through adversity, silence doubters, and keep climbing, even without their star. And when that star returns, this version of the Fever is going to be a nightmare matchup every single night. Finally, let's get to the big picture. This entire situation proves Caitlin Clark owns the WNBA narrative. Period. One podcast comment from Sophie Cunningham has now dominated headlines, social media, and sports talk shows. Not because Sophie said something insane, but because she said Caitlin Clark's name and called her the face of the league. Think about how wild that is. No other player in the league has this kind of gravitational pull. Arja Wilson is a champion, an MVP. Brianna Stewart is a legend. RK Ogunbowale is a walking bucket. But do any of them control the entire league conversation with a single mention? Number. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. And the way the WNBA handled this only adds to her mythology. By finding Sophie Cunningham, they basically confirmed what fans already know. Caitlin Clark is untouchable. She's bigger than any single team. She's bigger than any league office memo. So, this is what she said. If I was a ref, I know I mess up all the time. Not saying your job is easy, but when it's a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're selling is this and that's my thing. Like, if you're on the other team, and you're gonna be finding the shit out of me, cool? Well, let me do it to you, you know what I mean? Ain't the players across the league, new fans across the country, I was like, what's going on with the refs? I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me, you finding me $500 is not gonna do shit. When a rookie can sit out for weeks and still cause fines, outrage, and viral debates, you're no longer talking about a player. You're talking about a movement. The Fever locker room knows this. They feel it. They're embracing it. Sophie taking a fine isn't just an off-court story. It's a rallying cry. It says, we know who our leader is and we'll go to war for her. That's culture. That's chemistry. And that's why Indiana isn't just surviving the season. They're building a monster that's going to last. And for the league, this is the new reality. Whether rival players like it or not, Caitlin Clark drives the ratings, the clicks, the conversations, and the ticket sales. She's the superstar they can't ignore, and every controversy, every bump, every foul, every fine, just feeds her legend. So mark my words, this isn't just about a $1,500 fine or a 5-game win streak. This is about the Caitlin Clark era taking over the WNBA in real time. She's shaping narratives without touching the ball. She's making teammates fearless. She's making rivals restless. And when she finally returns to the floor, this league is going to feel the full force of a star who doesn't just play the game, she owns it.